Hey friends, Allison here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm dropping in to share a new layout with you today. It's a double page layout and it is all about the senses. I'm using the Senses Story Kit from Ellie Edwards, so obviously that would make sense for a story about the senses. I also pulled in some extra products from my stash, and I also used my Cricut to create this little heart that I just attached to my photo. I used the draw and cut function to create it. When you are using gel pens with the Cricut, if you have them and you haven't used them before, just a forewarning to be sure you do not touch your paper while it is cutting. Let it sit and dry for a little bit after it is done because you will smudge it. I had to cut this twice because I smudged the first one, and so I learned my lesson really quickly and let the second one sit for a little while till it dried, and then I put it onto my photo. That photo was printed at home. It measures 7 inches wide by 8 1/4 inches tall. And then the phrase that I put over top of it that says heart eyes is from the Senses Story Kit. I used liquid glue to attach that, but the heart I attached to the layout directly with my ATG. The next page that I'm creating, making this a double page layout, is a pocket page. I should mention too that the other page that I just created is staying outside the page protector. It will be punched with holes. You'll see that at the end of the video in the close-ups, and it is going in the album without a page protector. The photos in this part of the layout are my favorite things related to the senses. So I love the smell of rain. We live close to an elementary school, close enough that I can hear the kids squealing during recess. I love that. I also hear the bell marking the start of school and recess and after school and that sort of thing. I love that sound too. I love seeing some of my plants, especially the outdoor ones. I do not have a green thumb, but I'm absolutely ecstatic that my hostas keep coming back every year. So that's sort of the things that I'm focusing on in this layout. To fill the other pockets in this layout, I took one of the 4x6 inch journal cards from the Senses kit. It has the word sensing written at the top of each box. I cut them apart and then trimmed them down to 2x2 inches. They were slightly bigger than the 2x2 inch pocket, so I just trimmed them down so they fit inside the pocket, and then stamped a number from 1 to 5, and then the sense that I was focusing on that box. And then I included my journaling as well underneath that. I wrote my journaling this time instead of printing it. I could have played with typing it and then printing it out, but I couldn't be bothered this time. I knew that my journaling was going to be short and sweet, and the best way to do that is just to use a pen. So here I am taking each of the little 2x2 squares and stamping out the number, and then I will have the word for each of the senses stamped next to that. So this particular one is going to be smell. I'm using a close to my heart stamp that I have in my stash. It's one of my absolute favorite alpha stamp sets. It's Modern Typewriter. I'm not sure if it's still available at Close to My Heart. If it is, I will link it in the description box down below. If not, I will try and find one that is similar and then link that for you instead. I also used Close to My Heart ink to do the stamping on each of the little boxes. The ink that I used is Toffee, and the reason I chose that color is because I wanted to pull more of the gold from the photo on the left page into the right-hand side of the layout. So to me, Toffee is a very close color to gold, and that's why I chose that. I will link that in the description box as well, and I will also link Story Kits by Ellie Edwards in the description box too, so you can check all those out if you choose to. So I'm just taking a minute here to kind of sort through all of the alphas in the stamp set. They've lost their stick. I haven't rinsed them yet. I'm really bad for it. I avoid doing it. Not that it's hard, I'm just lazy. But putting them back in their right spots and then pulling out the letters that I need to spell the word smell. And then I will stamp it. So I begin by writing the word out backwards. If there's 2 letters that are repeats, like the 2 L's in smell, I will do up to the first letter before it repeats. Stamp it, take all the other extra letters off, and then stamp the second letter to complete the word. So as you can see, I stamped most of the word smell and then took all those stamps off, put them away, and then stamped the second L. So after the stamping is done, I am going to use a straight edge ruler and a pencil to mark out lines for my journaling. I'm going to flip my Versamat craft mat over so that I have the lines facing me. It makes it a little bit easier to line up my T-square ruler with the lines, just to be sure that I have it straight, as well as making sure my little 2x2 inch square is totally straight as well. And then I will write my journaling on those lines and then use my pen to go over the lines as well. At the end, when I've got all the journaling done and the stamping, I'll go back and erase everything if there's any pencil lines that are peeking through. This pen that I'm using is from Ali Edwards as well. It is no longer available, but I do know that she has similar pens in the shop. There's 2 different ones. One has a star on it and one is a Christmas tree. So obviously they were left over from some sort of Christmas collection in the past. They are on my radar, and I may one day grab them. I'll link them down in the description box below if you want to go check them out. I love writing with that pen. I'm a little worried that I'm going to break the nib on it because it feels delicate to me, but I still really like how it writes, and the pen is just cute. Anyways, so I'm just finishing up my stamping and journaling here, and that brings me pretty well to the end of this video. I do add a little bit of embellishing to some of the pockets. Some of the 2 chipboard shapes and pieces are from Ali Edwards. The pattern paper fillers, I'm gonna call them, is actually from Cocoa Vanilla No Limits. And then the You Rock banner is also from No Limits as well. There's one pocket in this pocket page that is empty. That's because I don't have one picture that I want to do for this layout. I still need to get that. So when I do get it, I'll be sure to add it to the pocket, and then this layout will be completely done. But I thought that I would share it anyways because, I mean, it's mostly done anyways. It's just one picture. There is close-ups coming up, so feel free to stick around for those. I hope you enjoyed my video today, and I hope my layout inspired you in some way. If you enjoyed my video, give me a thumbs up and a like. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. And if you haven't already subscribed, I'd love to have more friends hang out, so consider subscribing. I will be back again soon with more inspiration. Bye, friends.